My name is Stokes, and I'm an event planner. I've been doing that for the last 14 years. Our business is called eventsguaranteed.com, and it's a way to teach people how to plan events on their own, or if they have the money and the desire, they can hire me as an event planner as well. So, as an event planner, my job is basically similar to if you were, say, changing the bathroom in your house. You want a new tile and you want a new paint and you were maybe changing the fixtures. Likely you might hire a general contractor to do that for you. You might hire a tile guy to do one thing and a tub woman to do the other thing and somebody else to come in and paint. And instead of having you do it through 3 or 4 different people and getting all those contracts set up, you'd hire a general contractor. Now I do the very same thing for events. So whether it's a wedding or a meeting or a fundraising event or really any kind of event, a birthday party for your child or for yourself, I'm the guy you call to set up all of the different pieces and parts to make your event work. So if you were calling me, you'd ask I'd ask you what kind of an event you're planning, what budget, what's the timeline, like how many months away is it, how would you like to promote your event, and I'd run through a list of, depending on the event type, between 15 and 50 questions in that first call. We go through and look at each aspect of your event and how you'd like to have it planned. Certainly an event with a budget of $500 is different than a budget with $500,000. But after 14 years and working 350 or so events for for-profit, non-profit, and government, I have a very good idea of how events go and how they work. So basically I ask you all the questions, and then from there we determine how I'm going to work with you. So I started my career with Up With People, which is a non-profit organization. They have they plan a 2-hour musical show, and they travel around to different communities in lots of different countries. So I planned about 130 events for them in about 75 cities in the U.S. and then 9 countries. In addition, I worked for the Colorado Lottery as they rolled out Powerball. I worked for the Olympics in Salt Lake City. I worked for the city of North Glen, and for the last year or so, I've been working for my own company, helping people plan their own events, and we also do event staffing. So for a large event like the Parade of Homes in Denver, it's one of the premier Parade of Homes in the country, they hire a general contractor, again, to plan the whole event, and our piece or part of their event is the staffing part. So we hire about 90 staff to work the event for the 5 weeks that it's running, and we manage the daily operations of the event. I have about 6 years of experience working in the festival industry, and I can either just work on a piece or a part. Like when I worked for the Cherry Creek Arts Festival, I worked in their merchandise area, just helping specifically with that piece. And when I worked for North Glen, I would plan the entire festival. So they said, we want an art festival. When I started with that company, they said, we want an art festival, and we want it to be in this particular park. And this is a budget. And so over the course of about a year, I worked to find the artists who would come to the park and the production people. I worked to get the staging, the porta potties, the toilets, everything that you need in order to have a proper festival work. Promoted the thing, sold it, and then managed the on-site operations for the event as well. Yes, definitely summer is my busiest time as a festival planner, but then in the winter, one of the things I love to do is speak to organizations about how to plan more effective events, saving themselves time and money.
I see.
There are a lot of people that get dropped in, I might say, into planning an event, and they just don't have the experience to do it, but budgets, keep them from hiring a full-time planner. And so instead of, figuring it out on their own and making mistakes, they can hire me to come in and do some consulting with them. And whether it's a public speaking where I'm just coming in over lunch and teaching the people that are planning the event, or if it's meeting with you once a month for the entire time you're planning your event, up to and then maybe weekly as the event gets closer.
I see. That's really fair. Now, for the people watching you right now worldwide, I'm just curious as to how they can get in touch with you.
Sure. The best way would be to go to eventsguaranteed.com. There's a newsletter, so you can get monthly tips about ways to make your event better, make it more profitable. One of the real advantages of Events Guaranteed is that I built it as a planner knowing my experience. Now, every time you do an event, it's the first time you've ever done that type of an event. And you go to the web as you would now, and it's difficult to find things on specific topics. So we built Events Guaranteed like a library for people planning events, where they can find different articles and information on everything from, we just put an article on about a week ago about porta potties and how many you need, and also for people how to, if you're a new speaker and you want to learn how to speak and how to set up the room, the operations of it, not the actual speaking, but just how do you set up a room, and then there's an article on there as well. So you can get a lot of free things, and then in the summer we'll be adding on some ebooks and other types of things as well. We also have on that, starting in June, webinars where you'll be able to go and learn about specific topics of interest, like planning children's festivals, sponsorship, budgeting, funding your event, and many, many other great topics.